Boy, they really make you work for it, don't they? 6-4 Phillies! They've now won 2 out of 3. They split that series with the hot San Francisco Giants, and now 11-8 on the season. And you heard Rob Thomson say before the game, Ben, that they were 11-8 this time last season as they ripped off 7 straight wins. What do you think of this game as Cristopher Sánchez gets his second win?
Well, nice to see them get out to it. Obviously, they went down early, 1-0 in the top of the first, but come out, get 5 hits and 5 runs in the bottom of the first, and really let Cristopher Sánchez front run a little bit because he had it going today. The changeup was outstanding, and he could just throw it time and time again. 52% of the time he threw that changeup tonight. That's one of those, it was almost like a Jamie Moyer game where he just kept turning it over, but it worked for him. And my hat's off to the bullpen. They did a fine job, and defense was a little shaky, but overall, I'd like to see them just offensively continue to add on when they can. There was a big run in the 8th inning there with a sac fly by Sosa, who had great at bat. But overall, a win's a win.
A win is a win, and I'll grant you that, my friend. They got 5 hits in the first inning. They got 5 runs in that first inning, and then they got just 1 hit after that. They did get an insurance run in the 8th inning, and that's all well and good. But if I tell you this win makes me a little uncomfortable, do you understand where I'm coming from? Do you feel the same way at all?
I do, but you got to look at the way Jordan Hicks threw the baseball. After that first inning, the shadows started to creep in. This is a guy that throws, upwards of 102 miles an hour, and he really started to settle in. He threw some really nasty pitches up there tonight, but it was nice to see them get out there and get that lead because of this really devastating bullpen that the Giants have. But overall, you got to be happy with it. I just really like the approach, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But the approach in that first inning was absolutely awesome.
And more good news with Cristopher Sánchez, and they get the win as we look at his numbers.
Well, first of all, he's got great stuff. That's but he knows how to pitch with it. That's the thing. You could have the best stuff in the world. If you can't command it, then what's the sense in having it? But he keeps his defense on their toes. They love playing behind him. He's a fast worker. He just gets the sign and he goes. And he puts a lot of trust in J.T. and calling the game. And he had just another spectacular performance. I mean, those numbers, why would you not take those any day of the week?
Any day of the week and twice on Sunday. And many have thought, including yourself, Ricky Bo as well, that he would be a contender for Cy Young winner. I know that's not why you're in it. You're in it to win it. But still, he's pitching as well as anyone in baseball right now, is he not?
He is. And think about the lineup that the Giants are throwing up there. I mentioned this again, but the Giants coming into today's game, they've scored 100 runs. Well, now they've scored 104 on the season, but that was only second behind the Cubs and the Yankees. And this is a ball club that has stymied the Phillies throughout this series, and he went out there and shut them down. Just 2 earned runs in 7 innings. That's pretty spectacular for a guy that, obviously he's looking at this lineup saying, these guys can generate some runs. They string good at-bats together. They're good situationally. And he went out there and he stymied this very good Giants lineup. He was outstanding today. Tip my cap.
Tip of the cap to Cristopher Sánchez, and Tom McCarthy and Ruben Amaro Jr. will be talking to Cristopher Sánchez in just a few moments. We'll have that interview for you. Go back across the street to Citizens Bank Park. I'll take it. The Phillies will take it as well.
But the approach is what I really liked there in that first inning. And these guys going the other way, staying within themselves, getting to 2 strikes, but not giving in and swinging at their pitch. And that's what it's all about. And I think that is truly something that has been lacking out of this offense and why it has not been consistent enough from a positive standpoint. But they get back to this, doing what they do. These guys, a lot of their swings are built. J.T. Realmuto, Nick Castellanos, their swing is built to go to right center. And, with Bryson Stott, is built to go to the left side. So that's something that I think they can just build off after today and realize that if I have that approach, it's a good approach to have. I can stick with that and have success.
The star of today's game, though, leaves no doubt. It is starting pitcher Cristopher Sánchez. And here he is with Tom McCarthy and Ruben Amaro Jr. and translator Diego Daniello.
Sánchez and Diego Daniello joining us down on the field. Christopher, first of all, outstanding job tonight. The changeup was amazing. Diego, ask him to describe that changeup and how good it was today.
Tremendo trabajo hoy, el cambio tremendo también. Describe un poquito ese cambio hoy como tú.
Ese es mi cambio.
That's my changeup.
Me sentí increíble. Salí a competir, a atacar la zona de detrás temprano y a mantenerme en el juego lo más que puedo.
I felt incredible. I went out to compete, to attack the strike zone as much as I could, and to go out as long as I could tonight. That's what I want to do.
Have you been trying to work on something on your changeup? Has it not been feeling quite right for you lately?
Algo en lo que tú hayas trabajado con tu cambio, que no se haya estado sintiendo tan bien antes.
No, hoy traté solamente de que tuviera del medio hacia afuera todo el tiempo y que no trata de corear un poquito.
No, really. I just try to stay middle away with it today and to not cut it as much.
One of the things that we noticed the last time out is the double play was a big deal. Double play today was a big deal too for you, Christopher.
Sí, la última vez el doble play fue muy grande para ti. Hoy también el doble play jugó un rol importante para ti en tu picheo.
No, increíble. La defensa es increíble. Como Turner hizo un error y después se repuso con ese doble play, es increíble. Yo confío en el infield, en el outfield, 100%.
It's amazing the work that the defense does. It's just outstanding. You know how, let's say trade today, he made an error and then he just builds back up from it and does a tremendous play afterwards. And I just trust my defense, infield, outfield. I just trust my defense overall all the time.
Yeah, talk about a little bit how it's like, what it's like to work with J.T. Realmuto. Do you shake him at all, or do you just go with what he calls?
¿Cómo es trabajar con un catcher como J.T.? ¿Tú le dices que no alguna vez o tú simplemente confías en lo que él te dice y le das para allá?
Es increíble porque Jay es un tipo que llega aquí temprano y siempre está estudiando los bateadores. Tú lo ves apuntando, viendo cosas y es muy difícil tú chequear un picheo a Jay porque si tú le chequeas un picheo tiene que ser nati porque todo lo que él te pide, eso es lo que hay que tirar.
It's amazing the work that he does. You know, Jay is a guy who gets in early, studies the hitters, so he gets a feel of the game that almost no one has. And you know, if you're gonna shake him off, you better throw a nasty pitch because if not, then you're just gonna get it wrong because that's just the type of player that he is.
All right, Christopher, we appreciate it. Last question: how's Diego's catching going? Is he working? Is it working all right?
Está mejorando.
Getting better.
He said it. I'm getting better.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Nice going.
Nice going.
Gracias.
All right, Michael, back to you, buddy.
All right, Tommy and Ruben, we thank you, along with Cristopher Sánchez and translator Diego Daniello. I should say catcher Diego Daniello, and he was asked, he is catching Cristopher Sánchez somewhat, not in a game, but just to warm him up and to help out, and it's getting better, according to Cristopher Sánchez. Diego's catching skills are getting better. He's taking a couple off a chest protector. Is that a usual thing?
Not typically, but you know, if he feels comfortable throwing to him, and obviously, you know, it's something that they can work on, and Diego can get better, then so be it.
Anybody can catch, right, Ben?
Of course, if I did it,
No,
big goof.
that's not true. I'll tell you, for a goof. Let's go across the street. We go back across to the booth, check in with Ruben Amaro Jr. Just talked to Cristopher Sánchez with Tom McCarthy, presented, of course, by Chapman Auto Stores. Ruben, give me your impressions on this win, on this game, really, because a win's a win. They've now won 2 of their last 4. They split with San Francisco, and that ain't nothing. These guys score runs in bunches. So what were your impressions of this game?
Well, I was really impressed by the fact that they just bounced back after, you know, Cristopher Sánchez was throwing the ball really well because he punched out the first 2 guys and base hit, double, and they end up scoring a run. And, you know, Phillies came right back and dropped the 5 spot on Jordan Hicks. And they put together some really great at-bats. I get a little concerned that they didn't add on, but, you know, you got to give Jordan Hicks a little bit of credit. He was dealing, and the hitters were dealing with some of that, you know, with some of the shadows there for a little while. But, you know, you like to see them add on. One of the things that the Phillies did extraordinarily well in the beginning of the year last year when they were beating up everybody was that they would add on when they scored runs early, and that's something that they have not done quite yet. But that said, I mean, just a great job by Cristopher Sánchez. He's become somewhat of a stopper. He's one of the better left-handers in all of baseball. 1 walk, 12 punch-outs. I mean, that changeup was just devastating. And, I mean, you could have been literally, as Ben mentioned, I mean, you could literally just say, hey, here comes a changeup, and it was just, there's no chance for you to hit it. You just couldn't hold up on it, and he was hitting his spots with it, which was the most impressive thing about, you know, how he finished up.
Rube, do you think this could be the start of something new? That first inning is what I was really happy about. You got Stott opposite field hit, Turner opposite field hit. Schwarber did pull the ball, but Castellanos opposite field hit. Boom, tripled it dead center field. This is something I think they need to get back to, just using the whole field, not being so pull happy. And They saw the results there in that first inning.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, not all the offense is on all 4 cylinders or all 6 cylinders right now. There's no question about it. And I think the best way to get back to where you need to be is by using the middle of the field. And it's one of the things Castellanos has been doing a very, very good job of and having a lot of success. When you see them starting to do that more consistently, that's when you know they're more on time. Their thought process through the middle of the field, there's just so much more surface space and area to get hits in the middle of the field, and if they think that way, they can make adjustments on the breaking stuff, and they can stay on the fastball, and they can just be more consistent hitters. Hopefully, they can start rolling in that way. They didn't finish up the game that way, but listen, they still figured out a way to get one more run and give a little bit more cushion to Alvarado so that he can finish it up.
Ruben, let's go back to Alec Bohm. He has gotten hits in each of now the last 4 games, but just 1 apiece in each of the last 4 games. I would say that is improvement. I would say he's also still trying to find his stroke. He was down to 150 batting average. It's up to 173. That represents progress. What are you seeing from him that might indicate he's going to come along more quickly than we might have thought?
Well, he driving that ball to dead center field. I mean, you always sort of believed in Alec Bohm. The guy's been a very, very good hitter since the time he's gotten to the big leagues. I mean, the guy can hit. He's just been really struggling in the early part of the season. I mean, he had a great spring, was swinging the bat extremely well. A bunch of these guys are having great springs, and it hasn't necessarily translated to the early part of this season, but it will. I mean, these guys, there's a reason why there's track record in baseball, and at some point, Alec Bohm is going to start swinging the bat like Alec Bohm can and be the all-star type of a hitter that he was last year. I have confidence in that, and I have confidence in a lot of these guys. These are really good hitters. They're just not hitting consistently right now, particularly with men in scoring position, but it will happen because they're just too good. You just can't hold. Someone's going to pay at the end of this, towards the end of this year or at some point for some of the difficulties they're having right now.
Ruben Amaro Jr. at Citizens Bank Park. Great job calling this game, and of course, post game with Cristopher Sánchez. Thanks, my friend.
Not bad for a Penn Charter Quaker, I tell you.
I think that's the reason he's so good. You know what I mean?
Okay, there, Malvern boy.
Oh, yeah, here we
boy.
go. Here we go. And
Thanks,
the Stanford kid, I might add. All right, buddy, thanks so much. When you look at the way they score, and Ruben himself said, I'm a little concerned at the fact that they got the 5 early and failed to add on until late. Also, they didn't get but 1 hit after the first inning, and that was an infield single by Kyle Schwarber in the 5th. Other than that, nothing.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to eliminate those quirks?
Yes, I do. But I'm going to make an excuse for him. And you can say whatever you want about it. Jordan Hicks settled in. We saw Aaron Nola give up 4 in the first last night. He settled in. 2 through 5 for him was outstanding. Jordan Hicks has good stuff. Obviously, you saw them lighting up the radar gun. He threw a 3-2 split to Bryson Stott. I thought it was a right-handed curveball. It was straight. It was at 91. All of a sudden, the bottom fell out of it. If a guy's throwing 102, I'm not looking for a 3-2 split. Okay? So, and then you do have some of the shadows. But Jordan Hicks really settled in and was a completely different pitcher than he was in that first inning. The Phillies attacked him when he was most vulnerable. We saw the numbers against him in that first inning. First time through, he was over 300, and that's what the Phillies. They attacked early, and they were able to get those runs. So I'm not making an excuse for the Phillies after that because Jordan Hicks was really good.
We note the emphasis with which you impart your remarks, my friends. Well taken. All right, here's Rob Thomson now, not just about the game, but also about the hip flexor injury Nick Castellanos sustained, and as well Brandon Marsh and what's going on with his knee. Here's Topper post-game.
Seen some good change-up days from Sanchez. Where it was today?
Yeah, it was as good as you're going to get, I think. I mean, or as good as I've seen. I mean, a lot of swing and miss. It was just diving into the ground. He gave up the home run on a slider, and he hadn't thrown the slider in about 4 innings. So, yeah, he was really good today, and we needed that.
What was he doing different with his changeup?
I think he just had it. It's just one of those days where it was just coming out of his hand properly, and he had confidence in it, and he kept throwing it.
What happened with Nick?
Just tight left hip flexor.
So when he was running down the line? Or?
Yeah, on the double play. He felt it, and then he went out to play defense, and then he came in and said, tightened up on me. So we got him out, treated it out. He should be good to go tomorrow.
And is there any update on Marsh after seeing the doctor?
Yeah, it's just what I report. It's just kind of a strain behind the knee. He's going to be day-to-day. I don't think it's going to be an IL situation, so treat it out. It's good news.
With Sanchi through 4 starts, how much better do you think he is from last year? And if so, what is making him better?
Oh, he's better. I don't know whether you want me 5%, 10%, 15%. I don't know the number on that, but he's better because the velocity's up from last year. And so it's hard. You got to gear up for 97, 98, and then he's got that great changeup. It's tough. So, and he's throwing strikes. He's getting ahead all day today. He's really good.
Rob, Kerkering does well with the sweeper a lot of times. How do you think he's done as far as mixing in his other pitches and developing them?
I think he's done fine. You know, he's throwing his fastball a little bit more than he did in the minor leagues and when he first got here, which is good. I mean, it's high velocity fastball. So, yeah, he's mixing pretty good. He was really good today.
What did you like about the 5-run first inning? What made you guys so effective?
Using the field. You know, Stott gets a base hit to left. Turner gets a base hit to right, or up the middle, whatever you want to call it. It was to right. 5 hits, walk, Schwarber with a big hit, Bohm with a big hit to add on at the end. You know, I thought we put a lot of pitches on him in the first inning. So overall, it was just really a perfect offensive inning.
How did Turner stay in the game? He got hit with a 100-mile-an-hour sinker, like near the wrist.
He's tough. I guess it hit him in the right spot, but he is tough and he's very resilient.
Hicks seemed to be jawing at your guys' dugout. What was that about?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. It was going back and forth. So.
Rob, when you guys approaching that first inning, did you notice the hitters were maybe short to the ball because of his power?
I didn't notice that. I mean, it could be.
Making a conscious effort to approach him different because of his power?
I don't think so. I think we just had good at-bats today. And, you know, again, use the field, take what they give you, let the game come to you.
Is it tough to swallow or frustrating at all that, you know, put over 30 pitches on him in the first inning and then a few quick ones, letting him survive through 7?
Yeah, once you get him to, what was he at, 30?
33 after the first.
Yeah, 33 after the first. You feel like you've got him. You know, you've got a pretty good handle on it. But at the same time, you got to give him credit. He did a pretty good job of coming back and getting in the zone and mixing his pitches. And so, yeah, after the first inning, you think, well, okay, well, we can add on here and we can take advantage of this, but it just didn't happen.
Trey said the other day he thought he'd been playing the best defense he had in a while, but obviously had the 2 errors today. What have you thought of his defense?
I think it's been much improved. I think you throw today out. He just kind of laid back on that one ground ball that got under his glove instead of moving his feet. Rushed a throw, but at the same time in the 9th inning on Flores' ball, he made a hell of a play. The other play that, I forget who hit it. It was a do or die. Oh, it was Lee. It was do or die. So you got to throw that one out.
Took a look at Bryce Harper in the pregame program. He had home run in 2 of his previous games, each of his 2 previous games. 0 for 2 today for Bryce Harper. Ben, when you look at him, we talked about him finding his stroke, and it didn't quite happen for him today, but he still, you know, he got on base. So
yeah, a couple walks, couple runs scored, and that's what you like to see. One thing about Bryce that's amazed me since day one, we can watch him on an everyday basis, is his ability to trust himself and trust his eyeballs. I mean, he lays off pitches that are so close. Last thing I want to do is leave it in the hand of an umpire because I never trusted umpires. But his ability to let pitches get so deep in the zone and before he goes and attacks, he trusts his bat speed and he trusts his eyesight. And it's really a good combination because he'll take a walk with anybody. I mean, sometimes he'll chase. We all chase. But he just trusts himself so much on that end.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
You know what they say.
And then Schwarber, actually. They're both the same on that.
It's said a walk's as good as a hit. That's what they say in Little League.
You come around and score, it is.
Yeah, and he did.
Exactly.
So how about that? Take a look at inside the box score of a 6-4 Phillies win today. Bryson Stott 1 for 3. The Phils got 6 hits, Ben, but they did get all those walks, 6 in all, off of San Francisco pitching. And that, it does concern me a little bit because we'll take the runs any way they come, but you want to see them getting on base via hit eventually.
You do. You do. And today, a little bit better. Runners in scoring position, 3 for 10. But the one that doesn't show up is that Edmundo Sosa. Remember I talked about it doesn't always have to be a hit. Just get the RBI in. That's what Sosa did. Got down in the count early, was able to shoot a ball out to right field. Not only did he get Bryce Harper home, who had walked earlier, but he also got Kyle Schwarber to third base with less than 2 outs. So a fine at bat. Didn't produce a hit, but it produced an RBI, and he moved Schwarber to third base. So that's the kind of stuff I'm looking for out of the Phillies offense.
All right, Phillies get a great win because any win's a great win, especially when it comes off of a team like the San Francisco Giants, one of the top run-scoring teams in baseball, 11-8 on the season. And as Topper pointed out, we were 11-8 this time last year as well. And that's a good thing because they ripped off 7 wins at that time, this time last year.